I woke up expecting the usual birthday texts. A happy birthday from Mom. A meme from Sarah. Maybe even a video call from Alex. Nothing. I stared at my phone. No notifications. No messages. Just the dull glow of an empty screen. I muttered, okay, maybe later. But my gut twisted. By noon, I had checked everything: group chat, social media, private messages, still nothing. I called Sarah. Hey, you busy? My voice tried to sound casual. Oh, happy, wait. Is it today? Her laugh was nervous. Fake. My chest tightened. Yeah, today my words sounded foreign in my own mouth. Oh, I forgot. I'm so sorry. I hung up before I could say anything else. Sorry didn't cut it. Not today. I tried Mom next. Happy birthday, honey, she said cheerfully. Wait. That was last week. Last year. I hadn't gotten a call today. Not from her. I sank onto my bed. The hurt was sharp, deeper than I wanted to admit, not just disappointment. Betrayal. I scrolled through pictures of birthdays past. Me laughing. Me blowing out candles. Me giving heartfelt gifts. And I remembered every time I'd stayed up late making surprise plans for others. Every time I'd gone out of my way, expecting nothing. And now this. Nothing. I whispered to myself. I don't matter, not even a little. The afternoon passed in a blur of fake smiles. I laughed at messages from work, at memes on my feed, but it felt hollow. My friends came over later, all chirpy, carrying snacks and stories, but they didn't remember either. Hey, happy. Mark paused, glancing at everyone else. Nothing? His shrug was casual, but I wanted to punch him. I forced a laugh. Thanks, I guess. No one noticed the edge in my voice, or maybe they did, and they didn't care. By evening, the anger had started to simmer, not the petty, I'm annoyed kind. This was something darker, something sharp and focused. I told myself, it's just a day, just a stupid day. But my reflection in the mirror didn't believe me. My eyes were darker than usual, my jaw set. I thought about all the times I'd celebrated them, their birthdays, their achievements, their silly victories, and now, I got nothing, not even acknowledgement. A quiet voice inside me whispered, louder with every second of silence, you will be remembered, they will notice you, they'll regret forgetting you. Dinner was worse. I sat at the table, poking at my food. Conversations swirled around me, laughter, stories, but it felt like a scene from someone else's life, not mine. Are you okay? Sarah asked. Her tone soft, maybe finally realizing. Fine, I said, but the word tasted bitter. Fine wasn't the truth. Fine was a lie I told to hide the storm growing inside. Later, alone, I lit a candle. My birthday, my forgotten day, and I stared at it, flames flickering, shadows dancing on the wall. Make sure this doesn't happen again, I whispered to the empty room. They once did forget me, not ever. That was the first spark. The first tiny ember of a fire that would grow. Hurt had turned into focus. Betrayal into fuel. And somewhere in that darkness I realized, this day, this pain wasn't the end, it was the beginning. A beginning of reclaiming respect, of balancing scales, of making sure the world knew what it meant to ignore me. I blew out the candle, but the fire inside me didn't die. It only burned brighter. Weeks passed, and the silence didn't get easier. It got heavier. I kept seeing their faces in my mind. Sarah, Alex, my siblings, all the times I had lent money, stayed up listening to their nonsense at 2 a.m., helped fix their mistakes, all the things I never even mentioned, all the things I didn't expect to be noticed. I whispered to myself, I didn't do it for this. But, how can they forget? I called my brother first. Hey, you need to transfer me that cash I lent you last month, I said, casual. Oh, right. I'll get to it. Soon. His tone was the same I'd heard when he brushed off every favor I'd ever done. Soon? I asked, a little sharper. You mean never? Relax, I said. Do it. I hung up before I could scream. Relax. Right, like I wasn't keeping track, like I wasn't keeping all of it. Then Sarah. Hey, can you cover me for dinner tomorrow? My card sips maxed out. I paused. You mean after I bailed you out 3 times already? Oh, you're joking, right? She laughed. But it had no warmth, just the sound of someone who assumes the world owes them. Not joking. My voice was low, controlled, dangerous. She froze. Okay. I still manage. I smiled. Not a friendly smile. A quiet, sharp smile. I was starting to see something clearly. Kindness doesn't bind people. It doesn't obligate them. But memory could. I sat alone that night, tallying silently, not in a notebook, not in a ledger, just in my head. Every favor, every loan, every time I put myself second. I realized something terrifying and liberating at the same time. They didn't instead owe me. The world didn't instead owe me. But I could hold them accountable, in ways they would never see coming. The betrayal wasn't loud. It was quiet, subtle, insidious. It crept in like smoke, filling every corner I hadn't noticed before. Each forgotten favor, each ignored gesture, each hollow laugh at my expense. It all piled up. I remembered my sister, laughing while I helped her move across town. "You're a lifesaver," she'd said. And now nothing, not a word. I whispered into the dark. I septum not invisible. Not anymore. Then came the confrontation. Not planned, not rehearsed. It just happened. "Hey Alex," I said casually one evening, leaning against the doorway. "Remember last month? The thing with your car?" I covered it. He smirked. "Yeah, I owe you one, right? You don't set. You forgot it already." He laughed nervously. "It's steps fine. Dawn's step worry about it." "No," I said, stepping closer. "It's steps not fine. You forgot. You sep forgotten a lot, and I sep kept count." He blinked. Silence. Realization creeping in. "You've been keeping count?" His voice cracked. "Yes. Every time you expected me to help. Every time you assumed I would be there. Every time you ignored me on my birthday." My words were slow, measured, my anger simmering, not boiling, not yet. I would been invisible for too long. The room felt smaller, tighter. My heart beat loud. My breath shallow. I, I didn't mean to." His words stumbled, weak. "Doesn't matter what you meant," I said. "Only matters what you remember from now on." Frustration twisted in my chest. This wasn't a scream or a tantrum. This was calculation. Recognition. Power? I realized the invisible debt I carried wasn't just about money or favors. It was about respect, about memory, about the scales of human decency finally tipping in my favor. I started making quiet plans. Small things, subtle nudges, reminders they couldn't ignore. Gentle but firm, like the echo of a storm approaching. "You shall see," I murmured that night, tracing my finger along my tally in the dark. "You shall remember me. You shall all remember." And for the first time, frustration didn't feel heavy. It felt sharp. It felt alive. It felt like power. By the end of that week, I wasn't just angry. I was awake, aware, calculating. And that was far more dangerous than any rage I'd ever felt. The invisible debt wasn't mine to bear anymore. It was theirs to settle. And they would. I stopped reacting. Stopped confronting. I started watching. At first it was subtle. Just noticing who said what, who forgot what, who bragged about what they didn't earn. Every laugh, every careless comment, every casual dismissal of the people who'd ever helped them. At a party, I leaned against the wall, drink in hand, and let them talk. "Honestly, I don't owe anyone," Mark said loudly, laughing. "Life sep's for taking, not remembering." I nodded politely, smile plastered, but inside my blood boiled. "You don't even know the weight of the hands that lifted you." Sarah clutched her phone, showing off her new car. Mom and Dad barely noticed. "Can you believe that? I didn't even have to do anything." I whispered under my breath, quiet enough for no one to hear. "I did everything for you, and you forgot me." I started keeping notes. Mental notes first, then small scribbles in a notebook. Names, dates, comments, patterns, vulnerabilities, secrets they let slip without realizing. Alex bragged about a promotion he'd barely earned. All me," he said to anyone who would listen. I scribbled, quietly, overconfident, unaware, proud, blind. It felt wrong, dirty, even. But guilt didn't last long. The betrayal cut too deep. I'd been invisible, forgotten, and they didn't even notice. Why are you always so serious? My sister asked one evening. I smiled softly, just thinking about every slight, every time I'd given and received nothing in return, every laugh they shared at my expense, every empty thanks that didn't carry weight. The world hadn't wronged me, these people had, and now, I was watching, learning, planning. At a family dinner, I watched the way they deferred to each other, how they exaggerated stories, how easily they dismissed anyone who helped them. You know, Sarah said, swirling her wine, sometimes I wonder why people even bother helping me. I mean, I can handle myself. I nodded, calm. Inside, a storm was gathering. Yes, you can handle yourself. But what happens when that self-sufficiency collapses? I noticed Alex checking his phone nervously when Mom asked about a debt he owed. Tiny tremors in his smile. Subtle signs, vulnerabilities I hadn't noticed before. I documented it all, quietly, mentally, physically, every brag, every boast, every careless word, every sign that they were human, fragile, prone to mistakes. I felt guilt sometimes, real guilt, thinking like this, planning silently, watching their lives as though I had a right to mark them. But the anger never left. The betrayal was still raw. I remembered the birthday, my own face, alone, candle flickering, the quiet fire inside me, and I knew, this wasn't about vengeance in the traditional sense. It wasn't about confrontation. I didn't need to yell, to scream, to accuse. They were already setting their own traps. Pride and ignorance were doing the work for me. At a friend's desk gathering, Mark boasted again, I don't owe anyone, never have, never will. I smiled. Not for him, not a friendly smile, a knowing one. Keep saying that, keep proving it. Every careless laugh, every boast, every tiny indiscretion, I filed it away, meticulously, a ledger of their undoing, all written in their own words. I started feeling a strange calm. Watching wasn't anger anymore, it was strategy. Observation, power disguised as patience. I caught Sarah slipping once, mentioning a debt she forgot to mention to her parents. I made a mental note. One day this matters, one day they'll pay attention. And I realized the most chilling truth: I didn't have to confront them directly. I didn't have to expose them myself. Their choices, their pride, their arrogance, they would do it for me. Every word, every laugh, every careless boast, they were building the scaffolding of their own downfall, and I would simply wait. I leaned back in my chair that night, notebook closed, eyes dark. You shall bring yourself down, I whispered. You shall show the world who you really are, and I shall be ready, watching, counting, waiting. The fire inside me no longer burned wildly. It simmered, patient, calculating, precise. The betrayal had carved a path, and I was walking it carefully, step by step, note by note, observation by observation. And when the time came, they wouldn't even know it was me standing over the wreckage. I wouldn't need to confront, I just needed to watch. And wait. The nights are the worst. No one sees me in the dark. No one hears the way my mind spins. I lie awake, staring at the ceiling, watching shadows crawl, counting favors I gave, debts I covered, nights I stayed up for them, and I replay every forgotten birthday. Every ignored call, every casual thanks that didn't mean anything. I whisper to myself, am I petty? Vindictive? No answer comes. I scroll through old photos, laughing faces, candles, confetti, smiles that didn't include me. My hands tremble. Remember when I drove you to that stupid interview? I mutter under my breath. Or when I lent you money for rent? Or stayed up when you cried about your breakup? No one said a word back, not even in memory. Just silence. I sit up. The room feels small, claustrophobic. I call my best friend, Sarah. Hey, everything okay? She asks. I laugh. Brittle. Yeah, just thinking. She pauses. You sound off. Fine. I snap. I said fine. The word tastes like ash. Bitter, hollow. I hang up. The silence returns, heavier than before. I think about my siblings. About the way Alex shrugged when I reminded him about that debt. The way my sister ignored my birthday completely. I bite my lip. My chest aches. You gave too much, I whispered to the empty room. And they just took it. Flashbacks hit like punches. Me blowing out candles for Alex, laughing, while he barely looked at me. Me helping Sarah pack for college at 3 a.m. Hearing her excited chatter while I carried boxes. Me celebrating their achievements, their birthdays, their stupid little victories, while no one remembered mine. I feel the loneliness settle in my bones. I start pacing, hands shaking. I mutter. I stem invisible. No one notices, no one cares, no one remembers me. But their sets, something else. Power. Invisibility isn't weakness. It's protection. A shield. A weapon. I sink deeper into observation. Into planning. I take mental notes. Every brag. Every careless word. Every slip. Every time they dismiss someone. Every time they forget to acknowledge someone who helped them. I whisper into the dark. I set'll remember. I set'll make sure you remember. Sleep comes fitfully. In stuttered waves, dreams of betrayal mix with flashes of strategy. I wake with my heart racing. I call my brother one night just to hear his voice. Hey, I say softly. Hey, he responds. Everything okay? Yeah, I say, but I don't sat pause. Remember last month? That favor I did for you? The one you promised you set to pay back. Oh, yeah. His tone is cautious. Nervous. You forgot. Didn't set you, I whisper. I didn't stit. I hang up. No argument. No explanation. Just the silence. And that's enough. I sit alone, my mind replaying every slight, every overlooked moment. Am I cruel? I ask myself. Or just tired of being invisible? I light a candle. My own birthday memory. Flames flickering, shadows dancing on the wall. I trace my fingers along the notebook where I've been recording every tiny betrayal, every forgotten favor. I whisper. This isn't set fantasy. This isn't set imagining. This isn't setcery. I recall the laughs I forced, the jokes I told to cover my hurt, the hollow celebrations I attended for them, all the times I put their happiness before my own, and all the times it was returned with nothing. I feel tears prick the corners of my eyes, but I don't let them fall. I murmur, I once didn't cry over this anymore. Not for them, not ever. Isolation becomes my ally, my shield, my weapon. I sit in the quiet, listening to my own heartbeat, and feel clarity for the first time in months. The anger is still there, sharp, raw, but the confusion. Gone. I whisper into the dark, to no one, to everyone. Yuseb underestimated me, Yuseb ignored me, and I one step let it slide. The notebook waits beside me, my observations, my mental tally, my strategies forming silently, invisibly. I take a deep breath. Calm, controlled, precise. I whisper, revenge isn't set just a thought anymore. It seps a plan, it seps a necessity. The fire inside me burns steadily now, not wildly, patient, calculating, silent, but potent. I feel the weight of solitude, the sting of betrayal, but also purpose. I'm invisible, I'm overlooked, I'm underestimated. And that makes me unstoppable. I close my eyes. The world may have forgotten me, but I one step forget them. And soon, they will pay. I start small. Small favors I could give go unreturned. Invitations I could accept, politely declined. Conversations I could fuel, subtly redirected. It begins at lunch with Sarah. Hey, can you cover me for tomorrow? She asks, phone in hand. I tilt my head, calm. Remember last month, when I covered you? Oh, right, she falters. Nope, not doing it this time, I say softly. No anger, just certainty. Her eyes widen. Wait, why? You forgot, again. She laughs nervously. I didn't mean to. I know. I sip my coffee, letting her discomfort linger, just a taste of what it feels like to be on the receiving end. Next is Alex. I bring up the old debt casually during a conversation with our siblings. Hey Alex, remember the money I lent you for rent? That thing you said repay? Oh yeah. I settle? Not now, but remember, okay? I let it hang in the air like a storm cloud. He flushes, avoids my gaze. That small twitch in his smile tells me he's registering the weight of my memory. I start planting seeds elsewhere, at parties, at work, In casual group chats, Mark brags about a promotion he barely earned. I ask softly, remember when I stayed late helping you fix that report you messed up? He freezes mid-laugh. Yeah, that. I remember, I say. Eyes steady. Funny how that effort disappears is instead it. I catch the flicker of guilt. A crack in the facade. Even friends who don't owe me much start noticing the change. The way I no longer bend. The way my voice carries calm authority instead of desperation. Abdul, one friend whispers, you said we're different. Serious, sharp. Yeah, I reply. Quiet, tired of being invisible. Each interaction is deliberate. Nothing is spontaneous. Every word, every pause, every glance is calculated. At dinner, Sarah forgets to thank me for holding a seat. I let her dig for words. She stumbles, her pride usually untouchable, hesitates. Thanks. Our eyes flick to the others for rescue. No one saves her. I let her squirm. Not cruelly, just observing, recording. I speak up casually at a small gathering about favors I've given, subtly woven into conversation. Funny how I Sep helped with moving, with jobs, with everything, and somehow it Sep's invisible. The room shifts. The tension is subtle, like air before a storm. Everyone notices. Everyone feels it. Alex mutters, you stir keeping track. Of course, I reply lightly. Memory matters. I see guilt creeping into eyes that never carried it before. Confusion settling in faces accustomed to entitlement. I test boundaries next. Small asks from them go unmet. Every forgotten favor, every overlooked debt, I let stand, let fester, let speak louder than any confrontation could. At the same time, I leverage friends as minor players. A casual reminder here, a shared anecdote there. Remember when she helped you last summer? They ask, unaware their words reinforce my plan. Every seed I plant grows silently. Subtle, invisible, but deadly. One evening, I corner Sarah privately. Do you remember when I stayed up the night before your presentation? You aced it, didn't you? She fidgets. Yeah. Funny. I remember. Funny how some memories matter and some don't. Her face pales slightly. Her mind rewinds. That guilt settles like a weight. I sip my tea and smile quietly. No victory cry, just control. Control, that's the word now. I feel it rising inside me like warmth. Calm, precise, strategic. Even Alex begins to hesitate, his usual smug confidence cracked. You keep track of everything? Yes, I reply. Deliberate, everything, every favor, every moment I made life easier for you. I don't forget, and neither should you. Mark finally drops his bravado at a small gathering. I didn't think. I smile faintly. Thought what? That nothing ever sticks. The tension is tangible, subtle but undeniable. The first cracks have appeared. Small, almost invisible, but they are there. I feel a thrill. Not childish. Not petty. Pure empowerment. For the first time in months I am not reacting. I am leading, guiding, shaping. I no longer feel the sting of invisibility. I feel the potency of it. Every unreturned favor, every casual reminder, every pointed question, remember when I helped you with, is a step, a move, a calculated nudge toward the inevitable exposure of their own arrogance. By the end of the week I notice subtle shifts, hesitation in conversations, pauses in laughter, flickers of guilt. I whisper to myself, alone in my room, notebook in hand, You've built your own cages. I just open the door. I lean back, exhale slowly. The room feels lighter, my heart steadier, my mind sharper. This is no longer just a plan, this is momentum. And I finally realize, I am no longer invisible. I am seen. I am remembered. And soon, everyone else will feel it. It begins quietly. Subtle, invisible to anyone but me. Mark misses a deadline at work, a report he had bragged about, prepared to flaunt to the boss. I had left a small detail out of the files he relied on. A minor tweak, harmless on the surface. Why is this missing? His voice rises, frustrated, panicked. I don't know, his coworker shrugs. It was in the folder. Mark swears, shuffles papers, checks emails, mutters to himself, I watch, a faint smile playing at my lips. No one sees me. No one knows. Did anyone touch this? He asks nervously, looking at everyone. Eyes dart, blame floats around the room, but I am outside it, unseen, untouchable. I whisper under my breath, quiet, almost tender. Remember what it feels like to rely on me. Then Alex. He's supposed to present at the family dinner tonight. Slides ready. I subtly reminded him to double-check a statistic he cited. He didn't. You sir off by 10%, my sister points out. Did you check this? Alex freezes. I thought I did. I sip my wine slowly. Calm, controlled, crisis, self-made, silent, yet completely poetic. The tension is delicious. Guilt begins to seep into their expressions. Confusion, pride faltering. Wait, someone must have done this. Alex mutters. He scans the room nervously. Eyes flicker in my direction. Just a second too long. I let it linger. Nothing more. No confirmation, just observation. The silence is a hammer. At work, Mark gets called into the manager's office. His usual arrogance falters. The small cracks widen. I can hear the panic even from across the room. I remember the nights I spent covering for him, the favors I did that were never acknowledged. Now the universe, or rather my quiet orchestration, is balancing the scales. I remind myself this isn't cruelty, this is poetry. Later I meet Sarah privately. Hey, did you notice the files? She asks, uncertain. I tilt my head. Notice what? She hesitates. Mark, missed something today. And Alex, Yes, I say softly. It's Stets. Interesting, isn't it? How small things matter. Her brow furrows. I don't stit get it. Of course you don't stit, I murmur. You're used to everything sliding by, until it doesn't stit. Her confusion mirrors the first taste of my satisfaction. I feel it rise inside me, quiet, controlled, sweet. At home, my sibling stumbles over a simple task I subtly nudged in the wrong direction days ago. Embarrassment blooms across the dinner table. They search for excuses. I stay silent, observing, smiling faintly inside. You sir joking, right? My brother asks, flustered. I can believe this. I'm not, I say softly. Calm, the room feels smaller. Their pride, fragile, their confidence, faltering. It's intoxicating, not because I enjoy their mistakes, not because I want to hurt them, but because I can feel control returning. No yelling, no confrontation, just inevitability. They are unraveling in ways only I could orchestrate. Every misstep, every slip, every tiny humiliation, precisely timed, perfectly weighted. Even Sarah starts to glance at me differently. Suspicion flickers in her eyes, unspoken, uncertain. You don't happen to, she starts, then stops. I smile faintly. Don't, what? I let the pause stretch. Her gaze drops. Silence fills the space. Suspicion, faint but growing. I savor it. That's the point. Not revelation yet, just seeds of doubt. Small, creeping, unavoidable. At night I lie in bed, notebook open. Every small victory documented. Every detail logged. Observation becomes validation. Reflection becomes strategy. The first cracks are appearing. I whisper to myself. And it's beautiful. I replay their faces in my mind. Panic, confusion, hesitation, embarrassment, pride faltering. And then, a shiver runs down my spine. I realize something chilling. Starting to suspect me. Not fully, not yet, but suspicion is there, growing in the spaces I haven't touched, whispering in their minds. I let the thought linger. I smile faintly, almost mournfully. Soon, very soon they'll understand the weight of their own arrogance. The cost of forgetting me, the price of overlooking me. No confrontation needed, no accusation, just silence. I close my notebook, settle into the darkness. Calm, patient, powerful. And in the quiet, I whisper one last thought before sleep. You stutter, unraveling, and it steps only the beginning. I watch them closely. The careful facade, the polished smiles, the confident postures, all poised to hide the cracks. But cracks are inevitable. I let the night settle around me, a casual gathering, Nothing unusual, just drinks, chatter, the usual hum of self-importance. But tonight, the stage is mine. I start small, letting a minor observation slide into conversation. Remember last summer, I begin casually, when Mark forgot to submit that report despite all the help he got. He laughs nervously. What do you mean? I tilt my head, sip my drink. Oh, nothing, just that it seems some favors are easier to forget than others. Eyes flicker, tension spikes. I see it, subtle, immediate. Then Alex. And Alex, I say, soft, precise, that statistic you cited at dinner, the one I reminded you to double check. He stiffens. I thought I had. You thought wrong, I cut in. Calm, measured. Observe their panic. Let it grow. They exchange glances, silent questions, unspoken accusations, unease building. A minor character, Emma, a quiet observer, leans toward me. She's always watched from the sidelines. Never said much, but now she hands me a folder, discreetly. Thought you might need this, she whispers. I glance inside. Favor logs, emails, messages, all evidence of overlooked help, unpaid debts, forgotten birthdays, all meticulously documented. My pulse quickens, but my voice stays steady, calm, controlled. I stand, holding the folder lightly. You know, I say, addressing the room without shouting. It's fascinating what goes unnoticed. The little things we do for each other, sometimes they disappear, sometimes they are ignored. Sarah shifts uneasily. What are you implying? I smile faintly, not cruel, just confident. I am implying what seps obvious. Some people rely on kindness and forget it exists. Some people pretend it doesn't matter, but it does. To someone paying attention. I let the words linger, pause, sip my drink, observe. Eyes dart around the room. Whispers rise. Pride falters. Ego trembles. Mark speaks first. Wait, what are you saying? I open the folder casually, spreading it across the table. I him saying that every favor, every night I stayed up for you, every moment I made your life easier, is here, documented. Evidence you ignored, evidence you dismissed. Silence. Then muttered panic. That's private. Alex snaps. Private? I ask softly, leaning forward, or convenient to ignore. I glance at Sarah. Her face pales. Eyes flick to Emma, who smirks faintly. Yes, keep your silence. You're part of the story now. The room shifts. The facade cracks. Masks slip. You can stet. Sarah starts flustered. I hold up a hand. Calm, detached. I stem not accusing anyone. I stem reminding everyone of what happens when you assume invisibility grants immunity. Whispers swell. Explanations fumble. Pride battles embarrassment. Alex stammers. I didn't mean. Intentions don't erase consequences. I say sharply. You forgot me. You forgot the effort. You forgot the debt. And now it stits visible. I feel the quiet rage welling inside me, tempered by control. This isn't about anger anymore. It's about clarity. Exposure. Justice. Mark looks around frantically. Who put this together? I shrug lightly. I had some help. My glance at Emma says it all. She sees. She knows. They can prove. Alex begins. No one needs proof. I reply smoothly. Behavior is proof. Choices are proof. The arrogance, the entitlement, the casual dismissal of kindness. That sips all it takes. Sarah fidgets. You start making it sound worse than it is. Worse? Perhaps, I murmur. Or maybe it seps exactly what it is, and now you get to experience it. The tension is electric. Whispers continue. Panic rises in small, contained waves. Pride crumbles, and I sit back, calm, almost serene. I think back to every forgotten birthday, every unpaid debt, every time I bent over backward for them. The sting has turned into purpose. Control, power, quiet, meticulous, undeniable power. They scramble, trying to patch appearances, smooth over gaffes, whisper apologies that sound hollow, but the damage is done. The moral high ground is mine. I close the folder slowly, let the weight of it settle. You so learn, I say softly, that invisibility is not weakness. Neglect has a cost, and neglecting someone who remembers is dangerous. Emma gives a faint smile. Observation becomes complicity. She understands the rhythm of this silent justice. They fumble through explanations, excuses that fall flat, accusations that rebound. Every attempt to save face only exposes another layer of pride cracked, another mask fallen. And I sit, quiet, detached, watching, knowing that the world is beginning to see them as I always did, arrogant, selfish, blind. Their panic mingles with the faintest taste of guilt. The first real acknowledgement of their errors, though unspoken, hovers in the room. I sip my drink, calm. The masks are falling. And I am untouchable. Already, I sense the next steps forming, subtle, silent, inevitable. The storm has begun. And this is just the beginning. I walk into the cafe, slow, deliberate. The door chime sounds, but I barely notice. He's there, sitting, expecting nothing, confidence still plastered over his face like armor. I slide into the seat across from him. Silence stretches. Abdul, he says, cautious. I raise a hand. Save it. He swallows, pauses, eyes flick to my expression. Look, I did instead. Dawn set. I interrupt. Calm. I know exactly what you did instead do. Exactly who you forgot. Every favor you ignored. Every time you pretended my help did instead exist. His smile falters. Nervous, guilt creeping in like cold water. I didn't set mean to. I lean in, voice low. Intentions don't sit to erase consequences. You treated me like I was invisible. Like what I gave didn't sit matter, but I remember always. He shifts uncomfortably. Abdul, it wasn't intentional. You know that. No, I say. It was intentional in your mind. Every time you shrugged, every casual sex, every time you assumed I sect cover for you without acknowledgement, that was choice, and choices have weight. His hands fidget. He searches for words that won't absolve him. You? You think I'm petty? He asks. Finally? I smirk faintly. I think I step precise, careful, observant. You think the world owes you loyalty, favors, excuses, but it doesn't stet, and now, you step learning that. He flushes, flinching. I can make it right. I can. Make it right? I laugh softly, almost bitterly. Do you even know what that means? Repaying favors? Apologies? It steps too late for that. You built your own cage, and I just opened the door. His lips part, then close, stammering. I didn't set realize. Didn't set realize? I echo, voice sharp. You never realized. That seps why I seps mem here, face to face. Because silence doesn't stet last forever. Actions have consequences, even small forgotten ones. He looks down, fumbles with his coffee cup, avoids my gaze. I continue, calm, controlled. Remember the deadlines you missed? The mistakes you made that I subtly guided you toward? That embarrassment at dinner? Those weren't sept accidents. They were lessons, poetic ones. His head snaps up. You set me up. I shrug lightly, almost detached. I observed. I nudged. You did the rest. You did it to yourself. Karma is set my invention. It sets your doing, your neglect, your arrogance. The tension is palpable. I feel the power shift across the table. For the first time he is smaller than me, vulnerable, exposed. I didn't stet mean, he starts again. Stop. I say softly, cutting him off. I set him not interested in excuses. I set him interested in recognition. Recognition that every slight, every forgotten effort, every ignored debt has a cost. That dismissing me has consequences. His eyes well with regret, palms trembling slightly, his pride shredded. You were always quiet, unnoticed, he says finally. I didn't realize how much. You didn't care to realize. I finish. And now you relearning. Too late for apologies. Too late for excuses. I lean back, watch him squirm, his usual arrogance gone, mask shattered. I feel awful, he mutters. I didn't no. Yes, you did, I reply softly. You always did. You just assumed I wouldn't notice. You assumed I bend, that I cover, forgive, forget, but I didn't and I one sit. A beat of silence. Heavy. Thick. I let him feel it. Let the gravity of his choices settle. Let the guilt sink in, undeniable. You realize now, I whisper, that invisibility is not weakness, that neglect has a price, that forgetting someone like me comes at a cost. He nods slowly, voice hollow. I see that now. Good, I murmur, calm, poised, detached. See it, feel it, learn it, remember it. I gather my things. Stand slowly. The chair scrapes lightly against the floor. You shall remember, I say over my shoulder. Every slight, every ignored effort, every moment you dismissed me. And next time, maybe you shall think twice before underestimating someone who remembers. He doesn't respond. Just sits there, stunned, guilt-stricken, broken in ways I don't need to articulate. I step out into the night. Cool air hits my face. My heart beats steady. Satisfaction quiet, controlled. No shouting, no dramatics, no vengeance screaming, just justice. The balance has been restored. Silent, precise, unavoidable. I walk away knowing this. The lesson is seared into him, permanent, irrevocable. And I am free. The morning light is soft, warm, unassuming. I sip my coffee slowly, letting it burn the last traces of tension from the night before. Quiet, still, peaceful. No messages, no notifications demanding my attention, just silence. And I like it. I think back, unflinching, to every slight, every betrayal, every moment I let pass unnoticed, the forgotten birthdays, the ignored favors, the careless arrogance. It could have broken me, it almost did. But I didn't set break. I smile faintly, remembering Mark's face when he realized he'd underestimated me, Alex's frozen apology, the shame he couldn't articulate, every mask I watched crumble. Coffee's strong today, I mutter to no one. Quiet humor, my own company, enough. No one interrupts. No one needs to. I walk through the streets, noticing the familiar faces. Some glance at me, hesitant now, some smile politely, tentative, unsure. The balance has shifted. They see me differently, not because I demanded it, because I claimed it. I meet Sarah by chance at the corner cafe. Hey, she says softly. I hope things are better now. I nod, calm, better, I reply. Not defensive, not bitter, just resolved. She hesitates. I just wanted to say, I didn't such realize before what you went through. I let her words linger. Awareness comes late sometimes. That sips life. She nods, smiles faintly, withdraws, polite distance. I don't chase it. Don't need it. Alone again, I reflect. The storm is over, but the ashes remain. Scars remind me what happened, what I endured. I don't hide them. I don't erase them. They are part of me now. A soft breeze brushes past, carrying ordinary sounds of life. Children laughing, distant traffic, someone shouting in the market. Life continues. And so do I. I remember nights spent sleepless, replaying mistakes that weren't mine, debts no one repaid. I remember rage, plotting, calculating, and I also remember the calm satisfaction when justice, silent and precise, revealed itself. You're free, I whisper to myself. Quiet, affirming, true. It's more than revenge. It's recognition, dignity reclaimed, respect earned without surrendering my integrity to bitterness. I glance at my notebook, the record of everything, favors, debts, moments overlooked. I close it slowly, deliberately. I no longer need it. The power was in the observation, the patience, the timing, not in holding evidence as a weapon. A message pops up on my phone. A friend I haven't heard from in years. Polite, tentative, curious, reaching out. I smile faintly. Maybe I think. But I don't respond immediately. Not yet. My peace isn't negotiable. It's mine. Earned, untouchable. I walk past the familiar shops, feeling the quiet rhythm of my life. I notice a subtle change in people around me. Some wary, some cautious, some hesitant to take for granted what I offer. Karma lingers in ways even I didn't orchestrate. The weight of old grudges lifts. Slowly, I inhale deeply. The air tastes clean, new, possibility in every breath. A small child bumps into me on the street, apologizes quickly. I smile at them. Tiny moment, ordinary kindness. No calculation, no debt, just giving, free. I reach my favorite bench in the park, sit, watch sunlight scatter across the water, a soft ripple, calm, healing. The world continues, people continue, choices continue, and I continue, on my terms. No more bending, no more hiding, no more silent suffering. I am free, yes, but tempered. Scarred enough to recognize deceit, cautious enough to guard myself, strong enough to forgive without forgetting, to walk away without needing applause, to rise without resentment. A voice calls from behind, faint. Abdul? I glance over. Someone I helped long ago, quietly, a nod, gratitude unspoken. A connection reaffirmed, brief, fleeting, but real. I smile faintly, returning my gaze to the water. Yes, I whisper to myself, this is life, mine, finally mine. The sun dips lower, casting long shadows, shadows that remind me of the past, but also illuminate the path ahead. I rise from the bench slowly, confidently. And for the first time in years, I walk forward unburdened. The past exists, but it does not define me. I am rising from ashes,